Welcome to our 3 must-know things about Florida boundary surveying. I got licensed in Florida as my first professional surveyor's license, and believe me, before I went in that room to take my state-specific test, I studied everything I could about Florida surveying. But over the years, I realized there are lots of other interesting things about Florida than just what's on the exam. So let me share with you the 3 things every property owner, real property attorney, and especially you surveyors out there must know before coming to Florida. Number 1, even though Florida is on the East Coast, it really is very different than Georgia, Carolinas, and all the way up to New England. Why is that? Well, basically, all of the East Coast was founded under English rule before the American Revolutionary War. But Florida was not one of those states. As most of us know, Florida was under the control of the Spanish until Andrew Jackson came in, invaded Florida, became the first general of Florida, basically a dictator, and then turned it over to the United States in order to make a state. What does that mean for you? Well, Florida is a public land state, which is really cool because you've got public lands in Florida, the entire state, but you've also got the typical meets and bounds and lot and block. So Florida has kind of a Western flair, but also some of its own unique public land survey system rules. So keep that in mind. Number 2, Florida has a fantastic state-run website. This is called the Land Boundary Information Service, LABINS, L-A-B-I-N-S. LABINS is a comprehensive source for land and survey information. It's got vertical and horizontal survey control, aerial photos, water boundary data, old and new survey records of the public land system. It's an amazing website. It's very comprehensive. It's run, I believe, by the Department of Environmental Protection, and any property owner and surveyor should know about this website. It's fantastic. It's the best thing Florida has to offer. And then number 3, that is, Florida has a land survey checklist known as the Standards of Practice. Now, these used to be called the Minimum Technical Standards. It got changed, but it's still the same thing. It's basically a checklist for any land survey map. If you're a property owner and your surveyor has given you a map, pull up the map, pull up the checklist, Florida Administrative Code 5J17, review it. This checklist says exactly what should or must be on any land survey, and it even has specifics like boundary survey specific checklist. Fantastic. So if you're going to get licensed in Florida as a surveyor, if you have a property in Florida as a landowner, remember, FAC 5J17 is your survey checklist. LABINS, LABINS, is a huge resource, and Florida is just different because it was created so much later than the original 13 colonies, but that's what makes Florida great.